My name is Alexis Nicholson, and I work here at the Diocese of Des Moines as the Digital Evangelization Specialist. Lent is probably my favorite liturgical season, which I sometimes feel like could be weird because when we think of Lent, I think a lot of suffering, like it's about going into the desert with Jesus and fasting and suffering and giving things up and stripping things away. I feel like so much time throughout the year we spend building these routines. I'll make a routine and then I'll stick with it and then I'll never have to make another routine. And that's obviously not how life works. And that's the thing I love about Lent is every year it challenges me to say, okay, this is what worked as a prayer practice when I was in college, but now I'm 32. Does this really work anymore? And so it invites me to look at everything I'm doing and just strip it apart and get rid of the stuff that's not working and to say, okay, it's time for a new routine. It's time for a new schedule. It's time for newness because we can't do the same thing every day. Our faith isn't the same, our life isn't the same. Lent has always had a special place in my faith life as well because I'm actually a convert to the faith. And the first time I ever went to Mass was during Lent. Through the RCAA program, I was confirmed at the Easter Vigil during my senior year. And so I always get really choked up on Easter Vigil when they're doing all the confirmations, just because I remember that moment for me. Even as I kind of wavered back and forth in my faith, when I kind of came back into my faith, it was again during Lent. So there was a year and I was like, I hadn't really been going to Mass. I hadn't really been doing the things. And for whatever reason, I was like, okay, this Lent, I'm just gonna make going to church on Sunday a priority. Which is the bare minimum for us. But I was like, I'm gonna go every Sunday. That's my Lenten thing. And that was the start of me coming fully back into my faith. And I mean, now I work for the church. So God really got me on that one where I said, I'll just go to church every Sunday. And he said, sure, you'll just go to church on Sundays. I think going into that desert with Jesus to strip things away is always exciting because I know that there's more in my life than what I need. And it's easy to be like, oh, well, I need to look at this. Yeah, I need to do this. And I kind of put it off. And there's just something about Lent that it's like, okay, it's Ash Wednesday. It's here. No more putting it off. So it's like, I can spend months being like, all right, I really know that I have a better day when I start my day with prayer. And to do that, I need to not snooze my alarm. And there's something about having the season of Lent that just gives me that extra push of all right, come on, for 40 days, you cannot snooze your alarm and kind of start going deeper into those things that make my life better. One of the nice things about having Lent be a season too is that you can on Ash Wednesday say, I'm gonna do this. And if 2 weeks in, you're like, oh, this isn't bearing any fruit, you can say, you know what, I need to tweak this. It was really hard for me to realize that, yeah, if your Lenten giving fasting is not working, that you can just say, all right, let's change it, let's pivot, let's do something different. You're not married to it for the whole 40 days. And once I accepted that also made Lent be a lot more fruitful because sometimes you realize, oh, maybe it's not the snoozing the alarm that's the problem. It's actually that I'm staying up until, 10:30 at night scrolling through Instagram. That's why I'm not getting up in the morning. So I don't need to stop snoozing. I need to stop being on my phone in bed. But I always find it as a time to just remember how much my faith means to me and to renew that well. Yes, we are going out into the desert, but I feel like I'm going out there to find something. And it's usually finding Jesus who is getting lost in all of the various things that take up the rest of my life.